Good morning. Today is Monday, August the 2nd. It is 9:06, and we are here for Anchor Your Week number 26. So we are just excited to be here this morning. I had really considered, not doing a Monday morning meeting. I don't know what we're going to talk about. And then as I'm driving to CrossFit this morning, I just feel this drop in my spirit, and I pray that it blesses you. So I wanted to start by telling you something that you already know, that you're already aware of, but it hit me like a sack of potatoes this morning. Today is August the 2nd, 8/2, which means we have 4 months left in 2021, which means we have 151 days left of this year. And so I start with that to bring in the reality, whether you've thought about it, whether you've skimmed over it, maybe your life is just in a whirlwind right now. Maybe you feel like your life is just all over the place. You have 151 days remaining in 2021. And so one of the questions that I'm going to ask you that I want you to ponder on for the rest of today, rest of this week, what are you going to do with the remaining 151 days of this year? Now, a lot of people look at days and they look at goal setting and they look at everything and say, well, why does it have to be until the end of the year? Why does it have to be the calendar structure? Whatever you want to question that. But the reality is that's our fiscal year. We have January to December 31st, January 1 to December 31st, to accomplish what we have set out to accomplish at the beginning of the year. Now, I met with almost all of our agents and we sat down and we said, here's our 2021 business vision casting. What are we going to accomplish, excuse me, this year through real estate? What am I going to accomplish in 2021 with my personal life, with my family life, with my spouse? What am I going to accomplish? And so we come to this point, August 2nd. We have 151 days. You may not be anywhere near where you're supposed to be or where you desire to be. And that's okay. And you may be far ahead and excelling where you set your goal at the beginning of the year. And that's great. And you may be slap dab in the middle of where if you continue on the path, you'll meet your goal. But if you do something different, you may exceed your goal. And so where does that leave you? Do you want to come underneath your goal? Do you desire not to reach your goal? Do you desire to just simply achieve your goal, which is still an incredible milestone? Or do you desire to exceed your goal? I can't answer that question for you. The only thing I can do is look internally and say, Cody, what do you want? What do you desire to give? What do you desire to get for the rest of the 151 days that we have? Every single day is precious. Every single day is not guaranteed. I was on Facebook yesterday while we were at church. There was a mighty man of God that I look up to that was incredible. He sat at our church for a little over 2 years. He passed away yesterday, lost his life to COVID, pneumonia, double pneumonia, whatever. He is no longer here with us, 62, 64 years old, leaving behind a wife and a little girl that was adopted from China, who is 9 or 10 years old. No longer here with us, took his last breath yesterday. And so it's one of those shocking moments that really wake you up to the reality that we're living in. I'm not guaranteed another day. Nobody in here that's in the Zoom meeting, nobody that's watching this, you are not guaranteed another day. You may wake up tomorrow and get on the road and have a terrible accident. I'm not speaking that. All I'm saying is that we don't know what our day holds. And so are you cherishing each day like it's your last? And I'm not being morbid. I'm not trying to to go in a direction and get people sad. I am solely desiring to wake you up that today is a gift, but you have to unwrap it. It you have to do something to open the gift. It's a present sitting in your hand. You have to unwrap the bow. You have to pull off the paper. You have to open up the tape that the gift is in. And then you pull out the gift, which is today. So you have to choose to do something with your day. Every second, every minute, every hour is important. What are you choosing to do with it? One of the thoughts that I had this morning, and I feel like this is relevant right now because I've walked through it and I know that I'm going to walk through it again. The question is simply this: why are you so hard on yourself? Why are you so hard on yourself? Why is it that we can give grace and mercy to somebody else, but when we need the grace and the mercy, we don't give it to ourselves? We beat ourselves up. We say, well, Cody's doing it. Why am I not doing it? And that's going to go in one of two directions. It's either going to say, well, Cody's doing it. I can do it. I'm going to go and do it. Or it's going to come back and say, well, I can't do it, so I'm just not going to do it. Either way, it's a choice that you choose. And so going back to the question, why are you so hard on yourself? If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, wouldn't they? If CrossFit was easy, there wouldn't be an obesity rate in the United States that we have right now, correct? We wouldn't see people literally destroying their bodies by overeating or being irresponsible with what they're eating or not exercising or fill in the blank, right? If working out was easy, if going across it was easy, there would be no obesity. But what do we see? We see that a majority of the population is overweight or morbidly obese or just obese, right? Majority of the population, and I could be wrong, I didn't do any research on this, but a majority of the population is extremely unhealthy because it's not easy to discipline your body. It's not easy to eat smaller portions. It's not easy to go for a walk when it's 95 degrees outside in Georgia. It's not easy to get up at 5:45 in the morning to go to a 6:30 CrossFit class. It's not easy, but I'm willing to pay the price. So the question is, going back to, why are you so hard on yourself? Yes, we need to hold a standard. We need to set a line in the sand and say, I'm going to go for that line in the sand. I'm going to reach that goal. But as long as you reach the goal, does it matter if you reach it in 3 months or 12 months? Does it matter? It does in a certain aspect, because if you hit it in 3 months, that means your goal wasn't tough enough on you. But if you hit it in a year, then that means that, okay, well, we're in the money. That was a good goal for us to set. But the reality is, it's simple, but it's not easy. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to give yourself grace and mercy? If you need a rest day, then rest. If you need to sit and be still somewhere and to go be in a quiet place, maybe it's by the lake, or maybe it's having a picnic, maybe it's out in the woods, maybe it's on a boat, whatever that looks like. If you need a rest, then rest, because you need to rest. I rest. I've learned to embrace the rest. I used to struggle. I don't have anything going on. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And I found myself in this mode, or this mindset of this anxiety, this panic, this, I got to do something. I got to do something. I got to do something. And then I'm forcing things. And when I'm forcing things, it doesn't feel right. And then when it doesn't feel right, I'm missing I'm missing appointments, or I'm missing things with buyers. And then all of a sudden it crumbles. Whereas if I just embrace the moments of rest, I know what I need to do, but I also know that it's okay to rest. Yes, we need to hold ourselves to a high standard. Yes, I am not discounting that. I'm not discrediting that. But you need to give yourself some grace. It's okay if you're not where you want to be as of August 2nd, 9:05 in the morning. It's okay. What's not okay is for you to stay in the same position that you are right now. Going back to the 151 days, what are you going to do with the remaining 151 days? Are you going to continue the same pattern that you've done for the last 200 days, right? 204 days of the year? Are you going to stay on that same pattern, that same rut routine that's got you to where you're at right now? Or are you going to say, I'm done. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to swing for the fences. I'm going to accomplish my goal. I'm going to make the phone calls that I don't want to do. I'm going to show the houses that I know aren't going to work for this client because I'm working. I know I'm going to post the stuff on social media because I know I need to continue bringing business in. I'm going to work late at night because I know that I need to do this. I need to provide. Now, the majority of the population, I learned this in bold, a majority of the population are driven by fear. They're motivated by fear. They're not motivated by achieving the goal of, why I want to earn 6 figures in real estate. That's not motivating to them. That it doesn't motivate. It's some people it motivates. It does. And they get it and they're like, okay, I got 6 figures. That motivates them. But the vast majority of the people that are in the United States, in this world, they're driven and motivated by the fear of something else. Now, I'm not talking about an unhealthy, ungodly fear. I'm talking about the fear that gets you out of the bed in the morning when you don't want to get out of bed. I have the wick stamps right next to my bed. I do. I could show you. They're right next to my bed. So if I ever wake up in the morning and I think, I don't feel like doing anything today, I look at the wick stamps and I think, I am never going back to that point. That's the fear that drives me. That's a healthy fear. It's that motivator that says, I will not. I would rather go out and run buyers and run listing appointments and go out and pound the streets and pound the phone calls and pound the texts and pound my sphere than to ever have to go back and stand in line at Walmart waiting for each wick stamp to be cashed by the cashier. That's my motivator. That's my driving factor. I don't know what yours is, but you have to find that. You have to find that motivation. You have to find that situation that says, I am not going back there. I'm not going back to that point in my life. I told Christiana this week, there's no going back. We only move forward. If you were doing so well back there, then how are you here? There is no going back. You continue to march forward. And so whatever that looks like for you, whatever that motivation, whatever that thought that comes to your mind that says, I don't ever want to be back in this place in my life ever again. Let that motivate you. Let that drive you. Let that get you out of bed. Let that be the factor when you are engaging with every single person that you come in contact for the next 151 days of this year. Let that be your motivation. Let them feel your passion. Let them feel your love and your caring towards them. Because if you're just saying, "Oh, I'm going to go for six figures," yeah, that's great. But the reality is, are you putting in the work to get there? Are you putting in the work? Let me tell you a story. How many of you know Babe Ruth? Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, not Baby Ruth. That's one of my favorite candy bars. Babe Ruth, the Babe Ruth, the great Bambino, if you've watched The Sandlot. Babe Ruth. In 1923, Babe Ruth broke the record for most home runs in a season. That same year, he also broke the record for the highest batting average. There's a third record he broke that year that most people don't know about. In 1923, Babe Ruth struck out more times than any other player in Major League Baseball. Babe Ruth was not afraid to strike out. And it was this fearlessness that contributed to his remarkable career. He was the first player to hit 60 home runs in one season, a record that he held for 34 years until Roger Maris hit 61 in 1961. He also held the lifetime total home run record for 714 for 39 years until Hank Aaron broke it in 1974. He held other records too. He had 1,330 career strikeouts, a record he held for 29 years until it was broken by none other than the great Mickey Mantle. Most people want to hit home runs. The problem is they're afraid to fail in order to get there. As Babe Ruth proved, you can't have one without the other. It's perfectly fine to be a good, solid player who doesn't go down swinging that often. But it also means that you won't hit many home runs. Those players are needed on the team. They are the consistent and reliable players. However, if you want to swing for the fences, you have to be willing to strike out. So I share that story with you. And we'll look at the 151 days as 151 games. We'll just stay with the baseball theme. What are you going to do? Are you going to line up at that plate and look at those pitches and say, I don't care if I strike out? I'm not afraid of striking out. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm going to swing for the fences. I'm going to give it every single ounce of energy that I have within me, that I'm capable of. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to make the calls. I'm going to do everything that I know to do to prepare myself for home run capacity or the home run ability. Don't let fear keep you from swinging for the fences. It didn't stop Babe Ruth. Everybody knows Babe Ruth. So I just encourage you today, get up to the plate and swing away. Swing for the fences. The home runs are way more memorable than the strikeouts. So go hit a home run today and let me know how it goes. You guys have a wonderful day. We will see you next Monday for Anchor Your Week. You have a blessed day.